Good day, Market Chameleons, and everyone joining for the first time. Thanks for coming by and checking out the Market Chameleon webinar series. Today we'll be talking about large volume burst screener. But before we get started, let's take a look at the shared disclaimer. Please be aware that neither Market Chameleon, Dimitri, myself are registered investment advisors or a broker dealer. If you're searching for investment advice, please reach out to a licensed professional. This webinar, as all our webinars and shows, are for informational purposes only concerning Market Chameleon tools and products. With that, one last look at the disclaimer, and let's welcome Dimitri Pargamonic to the stage, who's going to be talking about the large volume burst screener. How you doing, Dima?
Good morning, Will. How are you?
Great. Let me bring up your screen to the stage.
Morning, all everyone. Right. And first, let's navigate to the screener, and then we'll discuss it. So it's under screeners. I'm sorry, that's not where it is. It's under stocks. And then menu, and then we're going to go to the right. Oops. And we're going to click on this volume burst screener. So under screeners here, volume burst screener. Click on that. It'll take us to this page. And on this page, we have these different filters. And at the bottom of it, we have a data table with stock symbol and the related analytics and data. And what this screener does in particular is it looks at the trading volume in these particular stocks. And when it detects a large, unusual volume trade, big volume burst trade, it isolates that trade and keeps track of it. And the idea there is to look at how potentially large positions or large traders are accessing the liquidity in the market, and what type of price action happens around that activity and then following that activity. So when we think about, let's say, an institutional trader, they have different ways of establishing positions. You know, they'll VWAP orders, or they'll try to basically not reveal all the time their intent through, putting in large, limit orders that exposes their intent. They may, but not always. And what will happen is, if they detect, let's say you're a large trader and you detect that all of a sudden there is a large amount of stock on the limit order book, and you want to take it, you'll grab all of it very quickly before somebody else does. And that large order could be, it could be on the other side, somebody just puts in a big block of shares up for sale, or it could be the order book, limit order book, contains a lot of different offers, or different people trying to sell, clustered around a certain price. So the idea there is, well, when we see these large volume bursts, how often do they happen, and how is that trading activity? What does it reveal? So if we look at the volume and the price action, we could kind of detect, well, this looks like somebody trying to access liquidity by buying, the available offers on the book, or by selling, right, or hitting the book where they're trying to get rid of a large amount of stock very quickly. We could do that by looking at the upticks and downticks. So having said that, here on this data table, we have two sets. We look at the volume bursts from the buy side and volume bursts on the sell side. So for example, in NEON, this is a stock that had a lot of volume bursts on both sides. Okay, but both buyers, on the buy side and sell side, you could see that it had $250 million worth of buy bursts and $183.6 million worth of stock in sell bursts. So kind of like even there, if we take take one versus the other, there's an imbalance of positive $66.4 million worth of stocks favoring buy bursts. And you could see that there's a total count of 196 instances of buy bursts, 169 on the sell. And relative to the 30-day, this is 270 times higher, 170 times higher than daily average. So that just shows us that there's a lot of activity there. So not specifically one way, but a lot of activity, maybe volatility, and that could happen around news events. So it's not unusual to see lots of buy bursts, sell bursts from both sides around news or volatility or earnings. So we could see the stock itself was down 71%. So something was going on. Okay, around that stock, we could go check the news, but this kind of reflects that there's something going on, and it's not coming from any one particular side. The bursts, just a lot of trading activity. But what if we wanted to kind of filter out maybe an imbalance somehow to one side? Right? Maybe something's going on. Somebody is establishing a position, doing it in a way where we want to try to see if we could filter it out to look at it further. So we could use our filters over here. We could look at the buy burst. Let's say we're looking at it from the buy, and we'll just say, that today's count, we see not just one buy burst, but maybe like three or more, right? So it wasn't just taken one time. Somebody took liquidity, but kind of took it and then came back and took more liquidity. So let's look at three or more. And let's say on a relative basis, that looks more than typical. So let's just say that's 2 times what we typically see. Okay, so you could see here, all of a sudden, we have a lot of buy bursts, and on a relative basis, it's higher. So we're filtering out, 675 from 11,400. Maybe we want to see a certain amount in notional. So let's say we need something, at least if we're looking at a higher cap stock, we'd want to see a bigger dollar value. But let's just say about at least $250,000 worth of stock total. Okay, and on a relative basis, we'll also say it's at least 2 times the daily average. So let's see how many we filtered out now. 400. And since we're looking at something where we're seeing it on the buy side, not the sell side, we're going to do something different on the sell side. Let's say on a relative basis on the sell side, we don't see as many as typical, so below 1. So you see now all this sudden, look how many, it went down to 70. So just to review really quickly, you see here there's a larger buy imbalance, and we don't see, hold on a second. Let's sort this by notional. So here, AMT, we see a buy imbalance, 2 times its average daily volume, typical, but we don't see the same thing. It's lighter on the sell side. Okay, so total of $73 million worth of stock imbalance to the buy side. Okay. We could go a little bit further and say that the relative notional also is below typical. Okay, so let's see where we're at now. 57. Let's sort this now by this column, the highest. There you go. So 73 million AMT, ODFL, 30 million. So what we did here was filter out stocks that saw an unusual amount of buy volume bursts, but less than typical on the sell volume bursts. Okay, so that's where we're getting this imbalance from. And we could also, add to it option volume. I'll leave that alone for now. You could keep filtering it down. You could look at potential catalysts. So sometimes we will see more activity either ahead of a potential catalyst event, or right when something happened. Either some news, or an earnings, or maybe some event. Then you could see it, but not always. But this is why we have these columns here as reference points. Okay. So Will, I'm going to stop there because I wanted to, just cover and I already did a bunch of filters here, but cover this particular screener and just show how to keep filtering down for stocks that are displaying, this unusual behavior to be able to filter down, narrow it down for further research.
Hey, that was great, Dee. Thanks for tying the community into the large volume burst screener and going through all the different filters. That was a great webinar, and thanks for bringing these webinars to the Chameleon community. We'll see you on Monday, because today is Friday. Yep. So have a good trading day and a great weekend, my friend.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great trading day. Enjoy your weekend, and we hope to see you Monday.
All right, we'll see you Monday, Dee. Have a great day. Bye. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining the Chameleon webinar series. Everyone have a safe trading day. Please like and follow us on all your social platforms. If you're on YouTube right now, thumbs up, always appreciated. If you're new to the Chameleon community, we have a 7-day free trial. So click on the trial button and give it a go for 7 days. Everyone, have a great, safe trading day and a great weekend.